Welcome, dear traveler, to the Griot, where the winds of Africa carry ancient tales across the sands of time. Here we share the myths, legends, and whispered wisdom passed down through generations. If you love stories that stir your soul, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and share your thoughts so our tales may live on through you. Now, settle beneath the shade of your imagination and let us begin. In the land where the Sahara stretches far beyond the eye can see, where the winds sing secrets through the dunes and ancient oases blossom like emeralds in a sea of sand, there lived a water-bearer named Aminah. She was no more than 20 winters old, yet her eyes held the wisdom of dunes that shift but never disappear. Aminah's village lay on the edge of the Hoggar Mountains, a place where Berber tales say the earth meets the stars and Djinn walk softly through moonlit sands. Every dawn, Aminah rose before the sun's first rays kissed the dunes. She filled her clay jar at the distant spring, her feet tracing the same path her mother once walked and her mother's mother before. But the desert had grown cruel that year. Springs dried up, crops withered, and the village's well, its heart, now coughed up only dust. One morning, as Aminah knelt by the last spring, she heard a voice carried on the wind, a voice like grains of sand trickling through a narrow neck. "Seek the jar buried beneath the lonely dune." She turned, but the desert was empty. That night, sleep did not find Aminah. The voice whispered through her dreams, weaving images of riches, laughter, and a spring that would never dry up. At dawn, driven by the echo, she left her camel behind and trudged alone across the dunes. By midday, she found it, a lonely dune, tall and wind-carved like a sleeping giant. She dug with her bare hands until her fingers struck clay, an ancient jar sealed with hardened wax, etched in runes she could not read. The jar pulsed warm in her palms. She cracked the seal, and the desert fell silent. A swirl of pale smoke rose from the jar's mouth, dancing in the burning sun before gathering into a shape, neither fully human nor beast. A face formed, eyes glimmering like coals buried deep in ash. "You have freed me," the Djinn hissed, voice coiling around Aminah's thoughts. "I am Ash-Shai-Team, the Djinn of lost footsteps. For centuries I have slumbered in this prison, sealed away by a cunning mystic who feared my power." Aminah trembled, but stood her ground. "Why did you call to me?" she asked. "Because you are worthy," the Djinn crooned. "Ask, and I shall grant you a single wish: wealth, power, the return of rain. Speak, and it shall be yours." Aminah's mind spun. Her village was dying. Her father's once fertile fields now cracked beneath the sun. Yet a flicker of an old story danced in her memory. Tales of Djinn whose gifts were poisoned, whose riddles bound mortals in chains unseen. She demanded, "Tell me your true price." The Djinn's laughter rolled across the dunes. "You see, every wish comes with a test. 3 riddles. Answer true and your wish is pure. Fail and your soul shall wander these sands until the end of days." Aminah's eyes narrowed. The sun beat down, but she felt the chill of the unseen. "Then speak your riddles." "First," the Djinn whispered, "I fly forever, rest never. I pass all, yet no one sees me. What am I?" Aminah closed her eyes, feeling the wind tangle her hair. "The wind," she answered. "You fly, you never rest, yet none can see your true form." The Djinn's smoky form flickered, pleased. "One answered true." Second, the Djinn murmured, "I am the brother of sleep, yet I have no bed. I come for all, kings and beggars alike." Aminah felt her throat tighten. "Death," she breathed. "You are death, who cradles all in the end." A shimmer of approval. The sands trembled. Two answered true. The Djinn's shape coiled around her like a serpent. Last, it whispered, "I am not alive, yet I grow. I do not breathe, yet I consume air. I have no mouth, yet water kills me." Aminah's brow furrowed. The sun burned higher. Her lips cracked. She pictured the fires in her village hearth, how they danced, greedy yet fragile. "Fire," she said at last. "You are fire." Silence fell. Then the Djinn shrieked in rage and wonder. Three answered true. "You have earned your wish, Aminah," the Djinn rasped, its smoky tendrils reaching toward the sky. "Speak, riches, rain, the death of your enemies." Aminah looked past the Djinn, past the lure of gold and water. She saw her people, dusty but proud, her father tired yet kind. She saw a world that did not belong to Djinn or illusions, but to the living, whose toil gave the desert its stubborn bloom. She knelt, pressing her hands to the warm sand. "I wish," she whispered, "I wish for you to remain sealed forever." The Djinn's roar shook the dunes. "You would cast away power? Foolish girl! The spring will dry, your people will perish." "No," Aminah said, steady as the dunes. "My people will find water with their hands, not curses. Let your prison hold you until the stars fall." She pressed the jar's wax seal shut. The wind rose, a howling wail of a spirit bound once more. Days later, the villagers found Aminah half buried beside the lonely dune. In her hands, the sealed jar, cool and silent. When they carried her home, rain fell for the first time in seasons. Springs bubbled anew. The desert, humbled by her sacrifice, offered its blessing. And so they say, in the Hoggar Mountains, when the wind shifts just so, you might hear the whisper of a Djinn, still trapped, still longing. And in the village, they remember Aminah, the girl who faced a spirit's riddle and chose her people over power. May we all have such courage when the desert tests our hearts. Thank you for listening to the Griot, where stories live and breathe. If you enjoyed this tale, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more journeys across the sands of Africa and beyond. Until the next whisper of the wind brings us together, farewell.